Wild Thing is the only looping coaster in the state of Washington, located at Wild Waves theme park. This is a basic Aero Loopscrew, but this ride has a soft spot in my heart because it originally came from Rocky Point Park in Rhode Island. So in this video, I will discuss this ride's history and review the on-ride experience today. Rocky Point Park was the premier amusement park in Rhode Island for many years. This park was located in Warwick on Narragansett Bay. It operated from 1847 until 1996. For its last decade of operation, the park's signature ride was the Loop Corkscrew. This was an Aero Loop and Corkscrew model. The coaster had the same layout as the company's corkscrew coasters, just with a vertical loop after the first drop. I never visited Rocky Point before it closed, but my wife's family has shared stories going to this park and specifically riding the Loop Corkscrew. Today, Rocky Point Park is a state park. All of the rides were removed, although you can still see some remnants of the Skyliner chairlift today. Most rides were scrapped entirely, but the Loop Corkscrew was thankfully saved. Wild Waves and Enchanted Village in Washington purchased the coaster at auction for $850,000. This theme park had been open for 2 decades, but they never had a major roller coaster until acquiring this one. The ride was moved across the United States, and it opened in 1997 as Wild Thing. It opened as the first looping coaster ever in the state of Washington, and it's still the state's only coaster to take guests upside down to this day. Wild Thing is located towards the front of Wild Waves, and the placement is brilliant. It basically serves as a billboard for the park, as it's highly visible from Interstate 5. It is also located across a pond as you enter the park, which creates this really nice picturesque view that gets you hyped for your day. And the ride looks great too. The track is electric yellow with blue supports. This really pops on a clear day. The ride used to have a red train that contrasted beautifully with the track, but was recently repainted to yellow. While the paint is fresh and sleek, the train no longer stands out quite like it used to. The ride also has a nice sign bearing the ride's name and a snake logo. This coaster is only one train. It features 7 cars. Each car has 2 rows of 2, so the train can seat a maximum of 28 riders. Lines typically are an issue with this ride. Whenever I've visited this park on a weekday, this ride's been a near total walk-on. I have seen this ride with a wait down the stairs on a summer Saturday though, but that was still no more than a 15 to 20 minute wait at most. Dispatches are not the fastest on this coaster. The trains are manually unlocked by attendants after each cycle. Then the park usually waits until the unload platform is clear before letting in the next batch of guests. The restraints are thankfully quick to check though, as you have just an over-the-shoulder harness with no secondary belt. If you want the best ride experience, I would recommend sitting in the back car. You'll get one spot in negative G's you will not get elsewhere. Once dispatched, you slowly roll out of the station. After half of the train is disembarked, brakes grab the train and slow it down. I'm guessing this is to slow it down, put less stress on the lift chain. You then round a corner and ascend the lift hill. The posted heights of these loop screws vary a bit, but this one stands about 7 stories tall. At the top, you have a small dip and round a bank turn. Then comes the main plunge. This is a 64-foot or 20-meter tall plunge. It's a straight drop. Usually these types of drops, specifically in Aero corkscrews, give abrupt pops of ejector airtime. The entry into this drop is a bit more gradual in Wild Thing, so the airtime is milder, but you still get some floater airtime in the back car at least. Then comes my favorite part of the ride, the vertical loop. This is very forceful and pulls good G's, which is exactly what I've come to expect from Aero's teardrop-shaped loops. Then comes the bank turn above the station. This part is pretty jerky, no denying that. Fortunately, my head clears the top of the harness, but smaller guests will not be so lucky. They'll be susceptible to headbanging here. If you're on the shorter side, I would recommend leaning forwards to mitigate this issue, but everyone still can get their neck chopped here. Then you have back-to-back corkscrews. The inversions themselves are smooth enough, but they're pretty forgettable. They are taken too fast for hang time, but too slow to be super disorienting. The transition out of the second corkscrew into the final turn is another shaky spot that will likely cause some headbanging and or neck chopping. You then navigate a mild turn into the brakes. You then roll back into the station, ending the coaster. If it wasn't already a parent off-ride, this coaster is extremely short. So what would I rate Wild Thing? I would give this coaster a 3 out of 10. This is a below average aero looping coaster. I do like the start though. While you don't get the usual ejector, you at least get some floater on the drop, and the vertical loop is as forceful as ever. But the ride is short, the directional changes are choppy, and the corkscrews are rather weak. I prefer the other aero corkscrews I've been on because they tend to have a stronger first drop. But this ride still serves a valuable purpose at Wild Waves. So those are my thoughts on Wild Thing at Wild Waves theme park. What are your thoughts about this ride? Whether it be at its current home in Washington, or back when it ran at Rocky Point in Rhode Island, let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed this review, I would appreciate it if you gave this video a like, and you consider subscribing, because there'll be a lot more roller coaster and amusement park videos here at Canopy Coaster. Thanks for watching.